What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? And why the fuck is my mic? Let's bring it down a notch a little bit. Okay. So, I'm going to do this episode of the podcast in video format. This will be on my audio format, which I'm on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Those are like the three main platforms that I'm on. You want to hear me rant or talk shit or just, I don't know, ramble. The name of this podcast is called What's to Talk About with Dre James, where I talk about general stuff. Oh man, so let's get it cracking. I'm going to talk about wrestling news. What's going on with WWE, what I've seen on the highlights on YouTube, and what I basically watched AEW. I'm an AEW advocate because I like AEW more than WWE because WWE don't insult my intelligence when I watch the show. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, how y'all doing today? Saturday, it's 8 o'clock in the evening, at night, whatever. This is what basically what boils down to why I stopped watching WWE. It's just gotten phony. And I know wrestling, it's not fake, okay? The outcomes is predetermined or whatever. I'm not saying wrestling is fake because when you take a bump in that ring, you actually feel it. If you haven't, I haven't, what's the word I'm looking for? I haven't been privileged on knowing what that feel like, but I bet it hurt like hell. That shit ain't fake. Like DDP said, you can't fake gravity. All right. So, why I stopped watching WWE? Oh, side note. See all them clothes behind me? I'm actually cleaning out my closet. I didn't know I didn't have that much fucking clothes in my closet. Anyway, that's the thing. Don't worry about it. What's behind me? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I stopped watching WWE because you have an old ass man who goes by the name of Vince McMahon thinking that he knows what's hot in 2021. Yeah, he changed up what NXT is. And he thinking it's alright. I watched the first episode of NXT. I thought it was bullshit. It's just a colorful romper room-esque type show that heavily influenced rap music. That's it. It's just a watered down version of NXT. And I knew NXT was going to fall because by the end of the black and gold brand progression, it started to become watered down a little bit. Well, actually, it started to become watered down a lot, and I started watching NXT. I would purposely, or I'll just forget that it comes on Tuesdays. But the way that WWE do their storylines, I can't get. I just can't. I'm not able to motivate myself to care. That's how sucky the storylines are with WWE. The action in the ring is awesome. Let me tell you that. The action in the ring is awesome. And I'm not faulting the wrestlers because at the end of the day, they just following orders, you know. So I can't become too frustrated about that part, but I will become frustrated about management leading the pack They're the ones that's delegating the orders of what the show supposed to feel like, supposed to look like, supposed to have this certain structure that they want the show to be produced. So like they lack to create more stars. I swear, WWE needs more than one star. Like on SmackDown, only like big star they have is Roman Reigns. Because Roman Reigns has carried SmackDown since they moved to Friday nights. Since the Fox deal. I'm not sure they were still on Friday. What the hell. That's all they have is Roman Reigns. You have Seth Rollins, but he's taking a back seat into a smaller supporting role. But SmackDown only got one fucking star. That's Roman Reigns. He's been phenomenal in his role. Him, Paul Heyman, the Usos, everything has been great on that end. But that's all you have. Now on Raw, you can have a big star like Drew McIntyre. Now you got Big E as a WWE champion, Bobby Lashley, but there's no premier big star on the show on Raw. Fact of the matter is this. Excuse me. I can't watch Raw anymore. A part of being is that it's only 3 hours. That's the main reason why I don't watch Raw anymore. It's just too damn long. And then when I do watch Raw, when I did watch WWE, I end up falling asleep on that third hour. Like, I'll be into it, and then I'll be sitting in my chair, reclining back, knocked the fuck out. Knocked out. Yeah, I wake up and it'd be like 12:30. I wake up, I'm like, and I look on my TV and it's like a commercial. And then some movie, how USA Network always plays a movie after Raw or whatever, or one of they sucky ass TV shows they have on now. I'm like, damn, I just missed the third hour of Raw, and I didn't really feel anything. I'm like, okay, time to go to bed. So I get up, go to work. And I just don't know what's the appeal in WWE. I mean, all these fans, which is the majority of the casual fans, because that's who they chasing, WWE. That's who they chasing is the casual fans. I think the hardcore fans, the more the more knowledgeable fans either moved on to UFC and AEW. But it is what it is. I couldn't tell you who's the premier star on Raw. The storylines on Raw is worse than SmackDown. It's like Vince McMahon don't care what he produces anymore. He's just the senile old man that thinks he knows best because he's been in the game for a while. I swear, Vince McMahon been in the game since, I don't know, 1979? Whatever. Before my time, shit. But he needs to step aside. But I don't think he's going to do that because, how you have certain bosses of businesses, when they step aside, they realize how much them is in the company and they are unable to move on. Like that one movie, I don't know if you saw Cadillac Records, but by the end of the movie, Leonard Chess was driving in his car because he just turned over the reins to Mr. Relly. Oh, that's Cedric the Entertainer's character. in the movie. So, Leonard Chess was driving in his car and he was looking at his business through his rearview mirror, and his business had a hold on him so much he died while driving in his car and he hit another car. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen to Vince if he gives his company to another person, because he put so much of himself in that company. It's hard for a person like Vince to step away, And plus, Vince is a workaholic anyway, and also he don't work well with people. Because you see it in all the reports that you read or whatever about outside people telling him what to do, like Fox and USA. And by the end of the day, Vince McMahon's going to do what he wants to do anyway. So it doesn't make any sense USA Network or Fox is telling him what to do. Like having some superstars on the brand of the network or whatever. I mean, this is a waste of time. Because you're not going to sway Vince to change his mind on anything. Once he's focused on something, goddamn it, he's going to follow it through. This I don't know, the revolving door of writers that's been hired and then fired. They don't know it of what Vince McMahon wants. The only person that knows it of what Vince McMahon wants is Bruce Pritchard. That's why he's still there. Because he knows it. He knows what Vince McMahon wants. And that evidently it sucks. So that's why I started watching WWE. AEW, on the other hand, I started watching AEW when I saw All In. Yeah, the inaugural. It wasn't AEW at the time, but it was the beginning of something. It was something different. It was highly entertaining. I'm a big fan of Cody Rhodes. The dashing Cody Rhodes character where he was in WWE, I kind of like that gimmick more than Stardust. I think everybody did, really. Especially when he turned like a maniacal heel when he was putting paper bags on people's heads. But the whole dynamic with the Young Bucks, who I think they was called Generation Me when they was wrestling in TNA. I'm a big fan of the Young Bucks. I didn't know too much about Kenny Omega, but I think he was still in Japan when All In was happening. It's just that whole the dynamic, oh man, this is awesome. Like an indie show sold out an arena. Like if they was a major, I can't talk. They sold out an arena like a major promotion. That was awesome. Why? Because they had the star power to attract people. Now, AEW, I think, is the better of the two brands. Well, let me revert that. No, AEW is better than WWE because they're promoting pro wrestling. It's more serious. It's just an overall likable product of what WWE is producing. They're giving you wrestling, not sports entertainment. And there's a difference between sports entertainment and pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is the athletic. It's the athleticism. It's the athleticism. If I'm saying that word right, I'm tired, y'all. I want to listen to ASMR and fucking pass out. Anyway, is that it's like the sports based action, holding career standings and stuff. This person's I don't know, 10-0 or whatever. They put time limits on their matches. That whole realism of athleticism and sport like product, I kind of like that. The type of storylines I can get in, Oh, but not really the storylines, but the promos. The promos. I don't know why that almost slipped my mind. How the wrestlers. I'm all for ad libbing. When you're a wrestler, you shouldn't get fed with no type of scripts. I think the only reason or the only time you should be fed with a script if you're a rookie. So you get the handle of it, you know? But even in that, I don't really I don't like when I hear that wrestlers is being fed by scripts. Just give them bullet points and coach them on how to structure them bullet points into a long fledged promo. You know what I'm saying? The ad libbing promos I think are better than scripts because it's more organic and people can. If the promo is good enough, the people who are behind it of what you're saying is more organic. It makes it real. All right, so that's another reason why I like AEW because they give their wrestlers the freedom to improvise and be creative in what they're trying to portray on the mic. All right. And I think that their work in the ring should correspond to what they said on the mic. You know, like, I'm finna beat your ass and stuff. I'm gonna win that world champion, and they actually do it. Or do you can create a story on your struggle, your fight, try to reach the top of that mountain. Even if you lose, I see that you backing up your claim in that promo and you're telling a story in the ring and of your comeuppance on trying to reach for that imaginary brass ring Vince like to brag about. So it's been some nice things about AEW as of late. We got CM Punk. He came back after like 9 years. I believe it's 9 years. And I like how they doing CM Punk now. He's not wrestling every week. He's on commentary. And sometimes he hype up the show. You know, like the first thing that Dynamite aired, I think it was Grand Slam or like the Go Home show to Grand Slam. I'm not sure. I forgot. He hyped up the crowd. That's all he needed to do. Walk out to that ring, talk to the people, hype up the event, and then leave. You know, a person like CM Punk, he's getting older. I think he's like 42 or whatever. He don't need to wrestle every week. He should be a special attraction. Like only once in a while we see him in the ring, you know, wrestling. Then you got Bryan Danielson. He's using his real name now. I remember I was watching Bryan Danielson where he was in Ring of Honor. But I didn't watch Ring of Honor where CM Punk was there because I know CM Punk and Bryan Danielson was there at the same time. Now, it's the same. I think that was the same night when I saw Bryan Danielson. There was this wrestler called Tyler Black. That's Seth Rollins, by the way. That's his old moniker in Ring of Honor. He was fucking Tyler Black. He was awesome. He still is awesome. But anyway. And then you have who they brung in. It was Christian. He came. Bryan Danielson, CM Punk. I think that was all like recently, you know. But oh man. AEW's make professional wrestling hot as fire, and everybody's eating it up too. And it's very refreshing to see professional wrestling come back. And you remember when I said that professional wrestling and sports entertainment are two different entities? Professional wrestling, what I told you, is more athleticism. You have over the top or not over the top. Over the top and for lack of a better word, larger than life personalities. You know, But pretty much that athleticism in the ring. That's sports entertainment. I mean, that's pro wrestling. Sports entertainment is more like the spectacle. You know, acting with a smidgen of athleticism in that whole bowl of soup that we watch where we when we watch WWE on TV. That's sports entertainment. It's just the ambiance the caveats of the spectacle of WWE. It was made WWE so good. You know what I'm saying? The pyro, the cheesy acting, or even the storytelling in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going to happen with WWE. It seems like Vince, Bruce Pritchard, and Nick Khan if they're only is worried about making more money and they putting the wrestling on the back burner. They're getting lazy with their storyline. Sometimes one thing that pissed me off about WWE is like they will push a certain guy, that the crowd can get behind, and then once they get too over, then they stop that nigga's run, and then that would be all. And then you have plot holes in the storyline, like, it's like they'll use somebody, they will convey a story, and there be so much holes in the story, like Swiss cheese. It don't make any sense. But when it actually comes with the wrestling in the ring, it's solid as hell. It's like lopsided. Then you have AEW. Everything fits. Now, when AEW came on TV, I will admit some things was kind of goofy where it didn't make sense. You could tell they was having fun though, but it was like they didn't really become serious until like a year later. I think that's when Tony Khan kind of like, okay, hold on. Then we do all the creative baggage of this whole show, and let's just not give the EVPs any more, creative juices to flow with. I don't know what's happening backstage. I'm not there, but I don't know. It's just, the product of AEW has gotten better though. Their women's division is phenomenal. I wish WWE women's division was more solid. Even their tag team division is like non-existent. I was watching JD from NY on YouTube 206. How the hell you have a tag team division with only 5 people? I mean, not 5 people, but 5 teams. That's not really a division. I agree with JD. That's not a division. That's more like a stable. It's a stable of tag teams. Oh, man. But it is what it is. I'm not going to, bore you too much. That's the only thing I got to talk about was how I can compare WWE from AEW and how I like AEW more than WWE and shit like that. And oh man, it is what the hell it is. All right, so anyway, there it is. But I think this is episode 17 of What You Talk About with Dre James. You can follow me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. All right, my eyes is getting heavy. I'm gonna listen to ASMR on Twitch, and I'm gonna pass out right now because I'm sleepy. Anyway, peace out.